Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm GB Noob.
And I'm Envy Jitters.
And we're back again. We're moving right along into our favorites. We're in our number 3s right now. This is Envy's week. Envy, what's up? What do we want?
Hello
Hang
there.
on, wait, I'm sorry, I forgot a thing. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever. We also put out another video today about Magia Record that came out yesterday on the day that this comes out, so it's also coming out today. Watch it, or watch this first, and then watch it, or watch that first, and then watch this. Whatever, watch them both. Envy, go ahead.
No, it's okay. We watched Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Budget Works. Excuse me, Unlimited Blade Works.
Unlimited Bread Works.
No, Unlimited Budget Works.
Well, I like bread. Yes. This was the ufotable Fate Stay Night. And I didn't see much of the Studio Dean version, but that's an improvement.
I mean, Studio Dean pretty much did. I never saw the movie either, but they basically tried to condense the whole route in an hour and 45-minute movie, which, no. You basically do a Last Airbender with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously this was Ufotable's second attempt at the Fate franchise after Fate Zero, so yeah, obviously they were on a good track record.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite in the, I've watched a couple of Fate things, and I think my favorite is definitely Zero.
That's probably my second favorite after this one.
Mm-hmm. What's everybody else's history with the Fate franchise? I know I had you all sit and watch Carnival Phantasm at some point.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Fate.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry.
So, like, literally in college, we watched Carnival Phantasm, and like 90 to 95% of the jokes just completely flew over my head. The only thing I really laughed at was like the physical comedy stuff. But then years later, after seeing much of the Fate, at least the standard Fate stuff, looking back at some of the jokes, they're flat out hilarious in context.
You know what's weird about that show is, like, not to get us off subject, but like I hadn't watched any of the Fate franchise either before watching that, and I was just like, I was like just looking around at like anime openings or something. That one came up like, oh, this looks like a fun show. I need like some. I just wanted to watch something fun, and yeah, it's based on a whole bunch of series that I had never seen before, and yet still funny. Yeah, that worked out pretty well overall.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty funny. I remember seeing bits and pieces of the Carnival Phantasm, and then I saw all of Fate Zero. I think we watched that in Club too. And
Yeah.
I remember I think I saw the whole thing there. I've definitely seen all of it by now. And I've seen, I think, a lot of the one we were watching, the Unlimited Blade Works. And I've read up on, like, the games a little bit, but I wouldn't call myself, like, that knowledgeable about them. But I've read a few different things about characters who interested me.
I'll go last with my Fate franchise.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I'll go last.
I've seen a little bit of Fate Zero. I think we are watching it in Anime Club, but I don't think I watched all of it. And I've seen I can't remember how many episodes of it I've seen, but I've seen a bit of excuse me if I butcher this name because I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but Fate Apocrypha.
That's it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of that, too.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched that, like, when it came out. But I never, like, finished either Zero or Apocrypha. So, and all I really know is that I have a lot of, like, mutuals that really like Fate. And I'm, like, familiar with, like, the characters, but not, like, the series too much. So this is, like, the first... I mean, I know what the series, like, I know what the, like, general, thing is, but besides, like, just, like, the first like couple of episodes of the series I've watched. I haven't watched much since then, so. But yeah.
So I've seen bits and pieces of Fate Zero. The year we were watching it in club, I was in and out of the club room frequently, so I only saw bits and pieces of it when I was there. I saw bits and pieces of Carnival Phantasm, I believe. And then this is the only other thing that I've watched. I haven't really seen anything through to the end. As far as this series is concerned, there's just honestly too much content.
Yeah, you could say
for
that.
me to really get into it, I think. Because, as far as I know, it's like obviously the visual novel, and then all the animes that they've made based on the visual novel, and just everything else. So,
What all have you seen, Al?
Me, I've seen Zero, I've seen this, I've seen Phantasm, and then I think I watched Apocrypha as well. I forget whether I tried to start that Extra's Last Encore thing or not. Yeah, and then there's just like some extra like research. I think I wanted to play this, but I couldn't like find a good place to get it from without like buying a PS2 again, which was not really in the cards for me at that point. So, yeah.
All right. I've seen Fate Zero, Carnival Phantasm, and all of this. I saw the original Fate Stay Night from Studio Dean back in 2006. That's probably one of my guilty pleasure anime.
I think I watched an episode or two of that.
Yeah.
Just to compare it.
Yeah. I've seen the Heaven's Feel movie trilogy that just came out over the last couple of years by Ufotable. I've seen all of Apocrypha, and I've seen a couple of well, technically Apocrypha is a spin-off, but I've seen a couple of the spin-offs. Not all of them because that's way too many, but I've seen the case files of Lord El Mioi. It's canon.
How did they
because
adapt
it takes
that?
place. Yep, they adapted one arc.
Okay, I might have to check that out because I do remember reading part of it.
Yeah, it came out 2019. So it's basically a prequel. No, actually, it takes place in between
Zero.
Yeah, no, it takes place in between Fate Zero and Fate, the original Fate, because it follows Waver as an adult.
Yeah.
And then I've seen Today's Menu with the Emiya family, which is basically a slice of life spin-off where the Holy Grail War never happens and everyone lives happily together, and it's wholesome as fuck, and it's also made by Ufotable.
It's a cooking show.
Yes. Yeah.
I gotta ask, do they like tell you the recipes and stuff? Because if I could actually learn how to cook, I'd watch that.
Yes. Every episode there's a segment where they don't go extremely into detail, but they show you how to make certain things.
I might be interested in that.
And then I've seen Fate Prototype. It was a 20-minute OVA that was released in 2011 that was basically... They literally made an anime of the proof of concept that the original light novel creator wrote or the visual novel creator wrote before he made Fate Stay Night, which I was like, wow, really, they'll dap anything. But otherwise, that's it. I tried to watch Fate Extra Lost Encore 2 like you, Al. I got 2 episodes in and I dropped it. I didn't like it, and I refused to watch the Prisma Ilia spinoff for obvious reasons. And
what are those reasons?
It follows Ilia as a teenage magical girl, but there's a lot of Yuri stuff in it, so...
Okay.
Yeah. And then I am not even going near...
I think it's because she's like...
Oh, it's because she's a kid?
12?
Like, how Yuri are we talking? Like, cute Yuri or, like, really
No,
explicit?
full-on sexual making out.
Oh.
Yeah. Nah, I refuse. I refuse to go near that with a 10-foot
Normally I'd be
pole.
down with that, but not with
Maybe if they were
that age
adults,
bracket.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even attempting to go near Fate Grand Order. That's
Oh,
like
the mobile game, yeah.
well, not only that, but there's the mobile game, and then there's the numerous anime adaptations where if you don't know the story of the mobile game, which why would you? Because you're spending all your money on trying to get the best waifu, then you're confused on. So it's like, no, I'm just gonna stick with the main timeline. Thank you very much.
What a bizarre thing. You have a mobile game that's like a gacha system that you then adapt into an anime. What a terrible idea. By the way, there's also today an episode came out about Magic Record Season 2. Not related in any way whatsoever, but hey, give that a shot. Anyway, back to Fate.
So yeah, that's pretty much all that I've seen of the Fate. I've pretty much mainly have stuck with the main time. I know it's technically all one timeline, but whatever. It's alternate timelines, mumbo jumbo. I've mainly stuck with the main.
You could argue all
timeline.
time is happening simultaneously.
Yeah, that's true.
If you think about it, because like the Holy Grail is like some sort of fifth dimensional object anyway, so if it can draw things from the past, present, future, and whatever and deposit them wherever they need to be. What is time anyway?
My kitty.
The time is your
Yes.
kitty?
Time is a cat. Meow.
Time is a cat. Chaotic, unruly, and beats you when you're down.
Yeah, honestly, sorry. My cat is like rolling like partially on top of my laptop, and I'm trying to get to keep him from pressing the keys on my keyboard.
Houdini, master of time. Okay.
Yes, he is.
I know I'm making that as a joke, but now I just got a concept in my head for like a comic book of like Harry Houdini, but he's like a time traveling like detective or something.
Yes.
No, I'm just making Doctor Who. What the hell am I doing?
Little.
Yeah. Thought I had something there. We're getting off track. Unlimited Blade Works.
Anyway.
So, what's this about? So, okay, we've talked about what we've seen, but what is Fate? What's it about? It's about the Holy Grail War. It's about 7 masters summoning 7 servants who are heroic spirits from across time and space to come and battle in this one city in Japan, because that's where the Holy Grail is. And yeah, no wonder King Arthur never found it. It was over on the other side of the world. And they battle for the Holy Grail to get a one wish from it. And yeah, battle royale. I'm always down for a good battle royale. Most obvious is battle royale, but I'll take this too. Yeah.
I mean, it is a very ingenious concept because it could be basically branched out into so many infinite ways. Like you can just have so
And it
many.
has.
We have yes, but I remember me and you having a conversation in college about different historical figures and different medieval.
Yes,
and different,
we did. I will
different
want to bring that up later.
And different mythological figures on
Yeah.
who would be what in what class, because you
Yeah,
got the saber, archer, berserker. Saber, archer, berserker,
Rider.
assassin, rider,
Caster.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. There's also some specialty classes that come in random ones, but that's not important right now. We're in normal Fate, or as close to normal Fate as we can get. We're on side other route Fate that you have to beat the first route of the first game to do. So we're that parallel timeline to first Saber route.
Basically,
This
for
is the
anybody
Rin
that's basically for anybody that's confused about Fate, the original this all started with a visual novel that came out in 2004, and it had like at a certain point, which is pretty early in the game, it has 3 different routes, each with a different heroine, a different main servant,
right.
and a different philosophy for Shiro.
It's all about drugs.
Sure.
You said heroin, man. I'm gonna jump on that. You know how I like good heroin. You could take that however you want it. Because this franchise has some great heroin.
Yes. in the Fate route, the main the main servant and love interest is Saber. The main heroine in Unlimited Blade Works is Rin, with the main servant, that's kind of a spoiler, but not really, is Archer. And in Heaven's Feel, the main love interest is Sakura, and the main servant is Ryder. So there's that.
Yeah, so we're on the Rin route.
And
Checking
most
out
Fate
what-
fans
yeah.
consider her to be the best girl out of the three. I don't blame them, but that's just. But I've always been a Saber main.
I'm Team Rin.
No, I again, I don't.
I mean, now that I'll be real with you. Now that I've gotten a little older and a little more sophisticated, I think I'm actually Team Archer. Like,
That's fair too.
I don't know where you get a shirt that makes your abs look like that, but goddamn. Like,
I mean, between him and Ryder from Fate Zero.
okay, I don't know that I'm attracted to Ryder. I think I just want to be Ryder.
He was
You
pretty
would bang
fun.
him just because of his charisma. What are you
Yes,
talking about?
I would follow that man into hell and back. Like, it's no wonder why he's one of the best characters. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk Unlimited Blade Works. We're getting very broad, but let's focus in just a little bit. What's going on? Who are the characters here, and what's going on with them?
Well, it depends on which of the two episodes we
Yeah,
watched, because we didn't realize
yeah.
that the first episode was 45 minutes too. So you basically have the same basic premise, except the prologue is from Rin's perspective, and then the first episode is from Shiro, the main character's perspective.
Yeah.
So
Which is kind of interesting. Like, I feel like I've seen that in some TV shows, and I've seen it in movies, like, re-showing the same events from a different perspective, and maybe, like, certain things that happened might have, like, meant something different, or they meant more than you realized. I kind of like that sort of thing. I don't see it that often in anime, I don't think. Or at least, I feel like maybe there was a little bit in Steins Gate, or something like that. But I'd be down to see that more often in certain shows. I think that'd be cool. Kind of like a Rashomon kind of thing.
I mean, basically, the prologue deals with Rin. I'm not going to go beat for beat because we'll be here for hours. But basically,
No, we'll be
main
here for 45
premise-
minutes.
Well, yes. But yes, the main premise of the prologue is Rin, trying after she knows she, goes through her normal day at school, she is getting ready for the 5th Holy Grail War, and she's preparing all her life for it. She thinks she's gonna summon, she thinks she's gonna go after the most powerful servant, Saber, but then she gets Archer, and they don't really get along,
Nope.
to put it lightly.
Oh, I'm hearing
Hear
a cat.
Houdini.
Aww.
Oh, you hear him snoring?
Yes. It's adorable.
Good. Cute. Yeah, he's like right next to the mic.
Oh, dear.
So, well, he's like curled up on my lap, like sort of half laying on my laptop with his face like not even a foot away from my microphone.
That's okay. We can listen to a cat snore.
Yeah. Aren't
Yeah,
you
so
cute?
so basically Ren takes Archer, they have different shenanigans. They go around the city, and then eventually they find a Lancer. The servant
hold on.
Lancer.
Hold up. You're getting ahead of yourself. Did you forget one of the more iconic lines? The Archer class is really full of archers.
I
That's not
did
even the worst line in the franchise.
Yeah,
What?
I was like, what
other
is-
than people die when they are killed?
That's the most ironic,
This
iconic
is-
line in the franchise.
I don't know. I think that, like, clearly this phrase was something else in Japanese.
Yeah, I'd had
And,
to
like,
be.
whoever translated it might have tried to translate it as, like, close to the wording as possible. And I think, like, just they lost some of the meaning in what she was saying, probably. And then it's just lived on. I really, like, at a certain point, I'm kind of, like, wondering, because this is not the first time this has been adapted. I'm sure this at least the story of the route has been around since, like you said, 2004. I think when was this made? Like 2014 or something like that?
Yes.
Or later? Yeah, it's at least 10 years. You've had time to maybe rethink this translation. I think they just did it for the meme.
I mean, it works.
Which, I mean, to some degree, I'm like, points to you for wanting to keep a fan joke. But, I don't know. Anywho. Meet a Lancer.
Yep. And they... Lancer and Archer get into a fight, and we find out that Lancer killed someone, that being Shiro, or so we think. But then
He did.
once Lancer is about to, finish, but then we find out Shiro survived, and then we go on and find out that Shiro is a master too in this Holy Grail War. He's the one who got Saber.
Yep. Well, we find that in the second episode. In the first episode, we don't know nothing about that, except that Rin brings him back to life.
Yeah.
And Lancer's like, well, gotta go finish the job. And then they fight a Saber. And then we see it from the perspective of Shiro, who's a I don't know, how would you describe Shiro?
Pretty generic anime protagonist boy.
There it
teenage
is.
protagonist.
Yep.
He's got he was adopted by well, we don't know this in that episode. I don't think they revealed it in the episode, but
They
we
said
find
his
out
name was
later.
Kiritsugu. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but did they say in that episode that he was adopted by him yet?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
By
kind of
Mitch.
implied.
Yeah,
He
it's-
found him in the wreckage of a burned down city, and then like,
And
hey, would you like to
then-
come live with me?
And then there's also the hospital scene.
Yeah, that's what
as
I'm saying.
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Which, like, the other kids were kind of giving him, like, side-eye, like, well, why do you get adopted?
Yeah.
My parents are dead. But yeah, we see him go through his, ordinary life. He has a good friend named Sakura who clearly likes him. He has a legal guardian named Taiga. He has a good friend from school named Issei. He encounters a girl named Elia, who warns him to summon a servant, which that isn't ominous at all.
She says she's gonna die, bro.
And then
Oh, you forgot
He-
the most important character of all, Shinji.
fuck Shinji. Everyone hates
I
Is
Shinji.
hate
there-
him.
I really gotta ask this, because I feel bad for anyone, because I know it's a real name. Has there ever been a likable Shinji in anime? Like, for real. Let us know in the comments if there was. Because I just feel like anime has just shit on this name.
All I know is that Shinji is horrible, and you'll hate him even more if you watch him in an Evansville. That's all I gotta say.
There's one part, it comes way later in this, but Shinji does get punched in the face, and it's super satisfying.
That's not enough.
I found a gif of it. I just watched it on repeat, like, after I saw this episode. I'm like, makes me feel good.
But but basically, Shinji is... Shiro thinks that Shinji is abusing Sakura at home, and then they go deal with all that. But then that's when the event of the prologue catch up, where Shiro sees Archer and Lancer fighting. However, in Fate, at least in theory, nobody is supposed to witness the Holy Grail War except for the Master and the servants.
Mm-hmm.
So Shiro is at the time a witness. So Lancer tries to go after him. He nearly dies. He's saved by Rind. And then...
Well, he
That's
does die.
He does
Well,
die.
I mean, true.
You was stabbed in the heart. You gonna die. But then you get to come back.
And then we get to see Saber fight Lancer and kick some ass.
Almost.
I mean, they fight a little bit.
They fought a little bit. I think she could have kicked his ass had the fight gone on longer, but he kind of retreats. And then then Rin and Archer show up, and they get into a fight, and, like, she can't get a fight finished. Like, it's always an interruption now. But yeah, that's kind of where everything ends, and Rin and Shiro both waste a command seal, which is smart.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. In addition, when you become a master, you get 3 command seals, and they basically allow. It's basically a servant has to follow the order no matter what, and if you use all 3, well, that's it. The servant disappears, even if it doesn't die.
Do they disappear, or do they they just don't have to obey you anymore?
No, they disappear.
I thought it was the other thing.
No, that's why they always say be careful when using your command
I'm
seals.
sorry. I feel like I need to look that up, because I really feel like that doesn't make sense to me. Continue. I'm just going to Google this.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
He is loud today.
I'm
He's a
very
tired boy.
sorry.
No, it's cute.
It's just I don't want to like touch him right now because he's sleeping so good and I don't want him messing with my keyboard.
Understandable.
As long as you don't make the microphone fall on yourself, buddy, you can stay here as long as you like. Sorry.
Well, I mean, no, it's fine. I mean, obviously me and Al are Fate fans. I've seen a little bit more than him, but obviously me and him like this show. But for the rest of you who aren't Fate fans, what did you guys think?
Oh, go ahead. You can go.
Okay. I thought it was alright. Like, I wasn't, like, in love with it, but I, like, didn't dislike it either. I think that, because I definitely am interested to see, like, what happens more. And now that I know not all the episodes are that long,
Yeah.
I think I might, try to watch a little more on my own. The only thing is that I might switch over to the subs because the dub was just not great. First off, when I heard Rin's voice, I was like, okay, like, it's kind of annoying, I'm sorry. And then I heard Archer's voice, and I was like, his voice is kind of weird too, like, not great. Like, it just, the way they talk to each other just sounds so, like, formal and like I'm not good at acting kind of way. And I'm sorry to say it, but and then you get Shiro, who's Bryce Papenbrook, and like, I just can't listen to Bryce Papenbrook without hearing Nagito Komaeda. And maybe that's just a me problem, but it's just like, he has the same voice for everything.
Yeah.
He does.
I mean, again, like I've said before, I have nothing personal against him. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life, but Blue Exorcist was like the first role of his that I actually liked, because I saw him in clips of Sword Art years ago. I saw him in clips of this show, and then I attempted to watch clips of Attack on Titan before we watched it in the tournament, and he was obviously the main character in each one, and I didn't like his voice in each one of them.
He's not bad as Inosuke.
Yeah, he is good as Inosuke, I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, like, Inosuke's the only voice that he's done that I really liked, aside from, honestly, probably him as, Meliodas and Chat Noir.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that is
those are the
true.
only ones where he really works really well.
Yeah, I forgot he was Meliodas. Yeah, I liked him in that too.
Real quick, because I did check this. You don't lose your servant if you use all 3 command seals. You just lose the authority over the servant. You're still in the Grail War, technically, because you made a
okay.
contract with the servant. but all the spells are gone. Please continue. I'm sorry. That just bugged me.
Okay,
I've seen people lose their stuff.
Yin, Chibi, what did you think? I mean, I know it's the prologue, but...
Yin, do you want to go first?
I can. Yeah, I would consider myself a fan of Fate Zero. I really liked that when I watched it. And I'm not as into this one, I think, for whatever reason. I can't even necessarily explain why I like Fate Zero a little bit better. Maybe it just started off like a little bit more interesting for me.
It did.
I can't pinpoint why that is though, but it just kind of did. But I still found myself engaged with this one. The voices did throw me off a little bit. When I originally watched these episodes, I was watching it in Japanese and it was a lot better. So, yeah, if and when I continue, I would definitely continue watching in the Japanese. I know I watched further than this before, so I was still pretty familiar with these episodes. And I like them. I think they had good action. I mean, the animation always looks amazing. And that's usually what sticks out the most to me with this particular show. But I think the character's dynamic is really good with Archer and Rin, if you can look past the voices in this version. I do like their bickering, and their relationship is pretty interesting. I can see it developing in a good way. I'm not super interested in Shiro yet, but I think he is just one of those, I'm guessing he's just like he's a playable character or whatever.
He gets interesting later. Like, later.
Yeah, I understand that.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I know, but right now he's a little boring, but he works as just a anime protagonist, so it's not like I dislike him or anything. Although his voice, once again, but if we disregard all that, the side characters were fine. I think Shinji's supposed to be annoying. So overall, I liked it. Just when I compare it to Fate Zero, I think I just like that one better, but that's just personal preference. I think this one's good too.
Do you mind if I go real quick? Because I kind of want to bounce off of what you were saying a little bit. I feel the same way about the beginning of Fate Zero versus this. And true, Fate Zero also kind of started with a prologue that was mostly info dump and exposition about the world, because it's kind of a complicated thing to be jumping into. I feel like it got it all out of the way in a very concise manner, and it introduced everybody that you need to know. I think for the most part, these two episodes do introduce the majority of the characters that you're going to be interacting with, but it's not the interesting ones.
I think the other one, it felt more epic because of those characters being introduced.
You were seeing all of the masters. You were seeing all the servants, and you were, like, feeling them gearing up. But it was... The prologue was the calm before the storm.
Like, we only saw, like, 3 servants here.
Yeah, and...
I feel like we saw more in the other one.
Yeah, I think part of it is that, to some degree, this series is a little bit more of a mystery a little bit, because they don't know who's the servants, who's the masters. They got to figure that stuff out, and it's a situation of, like, I think in Fate Zero, everybody knew what they were getting into. Everybody knew. Here, we're dealing with the whole protagonist is audience surrogate, so he has to learn as we do. So we're not going to learn everything as fast, and we're not going to get to the big stuff as fast. So I think that's part of it, at least. Another thing is the voices. Hate them. But I will give points to some people. I will say that the supporting cast did a way better job than the main cast. Because, like, at the very least, Taiga and that one girl who's in the trio that attacked Shiro in that one episode, and even Shinji, they are acting, at least. They are emoting with their voices, versus Rin, who is just this totally monotone the whole time individual, except like maybe once or twice when she gets pissed off by Archer, but I'm like, okay, Archer, piss her off more. Shiro's bland as fuck. And Archer is just, you can tell he's trying to, like, do this whole, like, oh, I am a superior being who is smarter than you. But he's not doing it well. He's not doing it in an actual charming way. So
No.
we didn't hear Saber that much. She seems like in character enough, so we did fine. But yeah, it's just if these are the people that we're stuck with, I'm switching to Japanese too.
For sure.
Which is,
Yeah.
to be fair, like that's how I watched the original one because I don't think the dub had come out at that point. But yeah, probably even back then I probably would have switched over. It's yeah. I don't know. Animation's fantastic, like you said. I really liked, especially when they first like the. I really like the Archer Lancer fight, and like just when they're like gearing up to do it, and like you feel they have the like moment where like Archer charges up his power, and then just suddenly he vanishes, and there's a crater, and it's like they show speed and power so well. I think Ufotable does. And like they did it as well in Fate Zero. I think they do it well also if you watch like Demon Slayer has a lot of stuff like that. But like here especially, like you watch them and there's some anime that do it well and some anime that do it kind of meh. This is the one where I'm like, wow, these are superhuman beings. And it really shows. So.
All right, Chibi.
Okay, so I actually watched the sub.
Lucky.
Good for you.
Well, because I was like, okay, let's go on to Funimation. Let's watch the first thing that it pulls up for me, which was the sub.
Lucky.
And I was like, all right. I'm like,
Which is
great.
weird because usually Funimation prefers showing you the dub first when both are out, but...
Oh,
That
no.
is interesting.
No. Anytime I've gone on Funimation, like their website, like they always give me the sub first.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
Maybe they know your preferences.
I mean, I would hope they do. Anyway, so I will say I didn't have a problem with the voice acting, unlike everyone else.
You didn't hear it.
I probably don't even want to hear it, so I'm gonna save myself the trouble. One thing I will say, a couple things I will say that I did like about it. I really liked I like the animation. I like the art style. The fight scenes are really cool to watch. For a 2014 anime, which they were well animated, very good. Music. Yuki Kajira is at it again.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
I
I
think-
love her, as you guys know.
I think she also did Fate Zero.
Yeah, she
So
did.
yeah, they knew what they had there, and they were like, we're gonna bring them back.
She did this,
I
Fate
mean-
Zero, and the Heaven's Feel movie trilogy, which is also
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, she's just quite prolific at this point for her scores, so they get her in a lot of good stuff. It's like very melodramatic fantasy. It's all great. Chef's kiss. Anyway, those are really the only good things I have to say about it. As far as story goes, I guess because I'm not really familiar or like really invested in the Fate franchise, I was bored. Because I don't know, it's not that they weren't explaining things quickly enough for me, it's just, I don't know if they just showed me these two characters in the prologue that I'm supposed to like find their dynamic, I guess, intriguing. And I guess maybe it is, but I'm also just kind of like, I've seen this other places, so I'm just kind of like, eh? And then when we get to the episode 1, and Shiro's there, and we're sort of learning about him and what he's doing, and Sakura and the teacher and all that, it felt a little bit slice of lifey to me until like the end of the episode. And I was just kind of like, I mean, okay. But I would have preferred, I guess, to have gotten a little bit more involved with that storyline a bit more quickly. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I always feel like I'm like, just like dumping on people's favorite things. But I guess
mean,
it's just a thing with my tastes. I'm really sorry.
I mean, did you not hear me last week when I said I didn't like Fully Cooley, but I said I respected it? So
I mean,
You're entitled to your opinion. Honestly, I kind of get it. These are kind of two exposition dump 45-minute episodes.
yeah.
Sure, there's a cool fight here and there, but it's still like
That's fair.
this was a bit of a slog, if I'm being real.
No,
I watched it on
I
Netflix, and we were going like speed and a half kind of thing a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, we also
No,
want
I
to finish
completely
in
agree.
Yeah, we did
time.
want to finish it in time.
You were saying, Yin?
No, I just said we also want to finish the show in time so that we could record. We didn't realize that both of the episodes were 45 minutes, so we started a little bit late. That was why we were watching it so fast.
I'll be real with you. The voices sound a little bit better sped up. I
Yeah,
don't know if
they
it was like And no, I really mean like I think it was something about like they have like this slow, deliberate deliberately. I can't use my words. They have a really slow and deliberate delivery, and it really drags. But you speed it up a little bit, and it gives the scenes a lot more energy, even if nothing's really happening. Like even if it was just like in the scenes where they're just like at home eating or something, it's still. It just felt better having like at least 1.25, sometimes 1.5 speed. I think 1.25 was good enough. But kind of made it into a 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say about that, Chibi?
Not really. I don't. It's like I said, it's just a matter of like I'm not really like all that invested in the franchise, so I guess like I'm not really that connected to these characters. And even then, like the bits of Fate Zero I watched, I only remembered, you know, Emiya. That's literally it. Him and Saber. That's all I remembered, and I'm like, I only know you two. You're the ones I'm concerned about here.
I'm sorry, you did not remember Ryder?
I remember Ryder.
Okay.
But
I was about to be very insulted.
but it's like when I was watching episode 1, I'm like, those were my thoughts when they came on the screen. I'm like, I don't really care about anybody else. You guys are the only ones I'm really familiar with.
Yeah, I get that. They were in at least in Zero, they were given the most like the
Attention.
most stuff. Yeah, they were. Yeah. Do we get Gav's thing?
Yeah.
Thoughts on it?
Yep.
Ah, okay. So where are we at?
I guess I
we-
should probably say why this is my third favorite anime of all time.
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
But before I
What did
do
we
that,
not see?
well,
We didn't see subtitles. That's the problem. We just keep ripping on them so hard.
no.
Like,
Before I
like,
go,
can I just like I've seen good performances out of these people. Sakura is Homura from Madoka. QB is here
Christina V?
somewhere. Yes.
What?
yeah, Christina V. Sakura, the girl with the purple hair and the ribbon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of the
Well,
little.
I watched the sub, so again, I wouldn't
Well,
know.
yeah, you wouldn't know that, but like I'm just like I've seen good performances out of so many of you. What happened here?
Maybe it was the director.
Maybe.
Yeah. Direction can
Like-
basically dictate whether a scene goes really well or really bad.
Like I know there's a lot of times we dunked on Bryce Papenbrook, but even you guys said like he has good roles. He
You know
has
what's sad
good
too?
time sometimes. Maybe there's some more. It's because some of them are more recent than others, but I don't know, man.
You know what's sad too? They actually replaced Archer's voice.
Wasn't Liam O'Brien involved?
Yep, Leon O'Brien
Yeah.
was in the original Fate from 2006.
Yeah.
They
Wait.
should have kept him. They
Hold
should have
up.
kept him.
Hold up, because I think I remember who. Shiro was Sam Riegel.
Oh, we could have had such a good cast.
You could have had Knot and Caleb together.
Uh,
Well,
Well.
I forget. Did the first episode show the OP and the ED?
No.
The second one
it
did.
it showed it had the OP, but over like a really strange sort of like falling rocks, kind of crystally water sort of thing. For
Okay, so they played the song, but they didn't.
Yeah, they had
okay.
the OP song at the ending, but not with like the opening visuals.
Okay. I will say that I'm indifferent to the first ED song. The first OP song, excuse me. I love both ED songs because they're done by Calafina, which was Yuki Kuchara's.
Oh my God, another Madoka reference.
Yep. And then the second OP has probably my favorite visuals in the whole series, and the song is really damn good too. But before I talk about why I like the show a lot, I did want to mention one other memorable line from the show that people like to make fun of, but I actually think is actually a really good, profound line. It's towards the end of the show, like really towards the end. I won't say the context, but Shiro says to somebody, "Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right." And obviously people like to make fun of him for saying that, but it's like, that's actually a pretty thoughtful quote. Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. It's like, you can interpret that in so many ways.
Well, I agree with you there. I do like that line as well. But I think like it's kind of how it's said is why people don't get what he's saying with that, because it's kind of at that point, again, not to go into spoilers, but it's a bit of a battle of philosophy between him and the person that he's fighting. And he's kind of like, even though you're saying stuff that's factual, that doesn't mean that it's morally sound, and it shouldn't be that way. Which, yeah, you probably want a little more concise way of saying that. But yeah, I like that as well. I really like that fight in particular. One, because it's very climactic, but at the same time, it kind of has kind of the biggest like thematic battle in the show. And I actually think it's better than the actual final fight of the show, if I'm being real.
So I guess there's 3 main reasons why I like the show, if you don't mind me going into that.
Go for it, man. This is your show.
The first and obvious main reason is that it's a visual and audio treat. Like there's a reason why it was nicknamed Unlimited Budget Works, because Ufotable, they did other shows in between Fate Zero and but Unlimited Blade Works, but like Fate Zero is already gorgeous enough, but like Unlimited Blade Works, like in its action, peak action, it's like on the edge of your seat. Like, holy shit, this is amazing fight. So obviously, like, and going back to what you guys were saying earlier about, the prologue and the episode 1 being a little slow, I will agree, and I will agree it doesn't specifically set everything up clearly. I guess for me, I watched this a couple months after we watched Fate Zero in college, so like it was already fresh on my memory, so I just decided to go straight into that. The second main reason why I like Fate Unlimited Blade Works a lot is the characters. I think, for me personally, Shiro and Ren get a lot better as the show goes on, and I loved the chemistry between the two of them. I was shipping them really hard throughout the show, and I liked... because basically, as I was mentioning earlier, Shiro in each route has a different philosophy that he tries to follow, and in this route, he tries to be a hero of justice that his adopted father wanted him to be, and I really liked that a lot. I really liked his motivations. I think he gets a lot more interesting as the show goes on, and Ren, she's considered the queen of tsunderes, or at least one of the queens, but she's also a really good character in her own right, and I just love Saber. I love the interaction between her and and Shiro, but the main reason why I love the characters is I loved the dynamic between Shiro and Archer. I won't say what that dynamic is, but I do agree with you. That there's a fight that happens with Shiro, the second to last fight with him is better than the final fight with him, but both of them are still really good, and it just had me invested. And the third main reason why I love the show so much is there's fights in most other anime would be, the climactic final battle, and it's it's just one fight. Like, there's a fight in the halfway point of the series. In most other shows, that would be the final battle. But no, it's the halfway point. It's just the end of the first core. And then there's the second to last battle happens, and it's like, oh, so this is the final battle. Nope, we got more coming. So it's just... I love Fate Zero to death. I do. But I do disagree with you in that... I do respectfully disagree with you in the fact that I don't think is, at least in its first core of episodes, I don't think it's as fast-paced as Unlimited Blade Works. I think after these first 2 episodes, the pacing in Unlimited Blade Works gets a lot faster. It goes straight to the action more often than not, because there are times in Fate Zero where it's just prolonged sequences of just talking. In fact, there's probably entire episodes where it's just talking. And most of the time, I think the dialogue is interesting, but there are times where I could see why some people might not be interested in Fate Zero because there is a lot of dialogue. But I think in Unlimited Blade Works, I was more interested in the characters and I was more interested in the overall pacing of the show. That's why I liked it just a little bit more, although I can totally understand why people like Fate Zero more. I mean, I love both shows. I just think the dynamic between the characters and the action made me like this show more. And I will say, as far as music, obviously I love the overall soundtrack. I love the second OP and the 2 EDs. But in episode 20, there's an insert song. It's called Last Stardust. It's without a doubt my favorite insert song in anime history. I love that song to death. I could listen to that song every day and not get tired of it. So I don't want to go too much into spoilers in case Gav or Yin want to finish watching it, but I just overall I really enjoyed watching the show from beginning to the end. The only complaints I would have with the show is that I do agree the first 2 or 3 episodes, like including the prologue, could be a little slow. And there's a villain caster that kind of gets a little annoying in the end of the first half of the show. But otherwise, I really don't have any other major issues with it. Sorry if I rambled.
No, you're good. Best time to ramble is when it's your show and you want to tell us how you love it.
But that being said, I know people love to say what Fate show you should watch first. Fans argue about this to this day. I would say Fate Zero because it's the prequel, but a lot of people say, no, don't watch Fate Zero first. It spoils Heaven's Feel, which, as someone who watched the Heaven's Feel trilogy, no, it doesn't. If anything, it helps you understand the Heaven's Feel trilogy, but that's a rant for another day.
From what I understand of it, and like from what I've read, because I did watch Fate Zero first, I do believe that Fate Zero does spoil some stuff that does happen throughout all the Fate Stay Night routes. It will spoil stuff for Unlimited Blade Works. It will spoil stuff for Stay Night and for Heaven's Feel as well a little bit. Maybe a little bit more so in certain routes than others because of certain character elements, but like to some degree, I mean, everything's going to spoil everything, but like I think to some degree, I think if you really don't want any of the major twists and turns spoiled too much for you, I do think you should probably watch the like Stay Night and Unlimited Blade Works and stuff first, because even if you know like some of the character stuff, because there are characters who are there in both series, even if you know where certain characters are going to end up, I think the writing is so tight in Zero that it doesn't matter. Because the whole conflict in there, which was written by Gen Urobuchi, yet another Madoka connection, I think he wrote that series so tightly that despite it kind of having to be piggyback off of a lot of stuff from Fate and kind of have to be like, we got to do a prologue, we got to do like an epilogue that sets up Stay Night and Unlimited Blade Works and all that sort of stuff. I think that it does it's the best self-encapsulated thing.
I think what also helped too was that when Fate Zero came out, the only other thing of Fate that was animated was the original Fate Stay Night by Studio Dean.
That is true.
And in that show, they had some flashbacks with him as you know, as Kiritsu, you know, him taking care of Shiro, and then they showed him pulling him out of the burning rubble.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they didn't. Not only did they not show anything else, I don't even think the original creator of the series even wrote anything about the Fourth Holy Grail War yet. It just happened. So literally, Gen Urobuchi was given a blank slate and said,
here's where it got to start, here's where it's got to finish. Everything in the middle is all yours.
Yeah. So that's why he was able to write Fate Zero as it is. Because like, literally, other than the final 10-15 minutes, Fate Zero can stand on its own.
Yeah. But I think, like, because, and we kind of mentioned this earlier, that Unlimited Blade works because of the audience insert Shiro doesn't know what's going on. It is a bit of a mystery series. And I feel like if you come straight from Zero into Blade Works, you're going to be spoiled as to who some characters are, how they're connected, and some of the stuff that I think, had I not watched Zero ahead of time, would have been bigger reveals for me. And might have upped the story for me a little bit more. Versus looking back, and I know this is all retrospective and it's really impossible for me to say, but like, I feel like knowing those things from Unlimited Blade Works would not affect my experience as much watching Zero afterwards. So, but that's just my 2 cents. Yeah. Honestly, just watch them all simultaneously. Just watch like one episode of each series. Because they're all like, 26 episodes a pop, or a movie, or whatever. So just like, watch like one episode of Zero, and then one episode of Stay Night, and then one of Blade Works, as something in Heaven's Field. Throw in an Apocrypha, throw in a Lost Horizons, or whatever that one thing was called.
He's so confusing.
Yeah, or maybe it'll be the craziest experience of all time, because you're seeing all of time simultaneously. Except when Gen Urobuchi does his inevitable flashback scene, and you know, you're kind of thrown into yet another time. But I don't know. It would actually be kind of interesting to watch it all like that. I'm kind of wondering if they all like, because, you know, to some degree, stories all kind of have to follow the same sort of like beats of like, you know, introductory scenes, and then rising action, falling action, climax, all that sort of stuff. It'd be interesting to see how well like the beats of all these shows kind of like link up with each other. I might have just created a new hobby for myself.
Well, I mean, like I said a couple times, at least as far as Fate Stay Night, each part or each, you know, arc has its own theme for Shiro. Like in Unlimited Blade Works, he's trying to be a hero of justice. In Fate, he's basically a white knight. He wants to fight evil. He wants to protect Saber at all costs. And in Heaven's Feel, I guess he wants to protect Sakura. I have my own rant with Heaven's Feel. I can go on for that, but I won't.
If you end up watching Heaven's Feel, save it.
Well, my biggest problem with the Heaven's Feel trilogy is that it's a trilogy of films instead of a TV series, and they're specifically with the third film. They just, like, you want to talk about info dumping. They info dump major lore, like origins of the Holy Grail and why this whole thing started in the first place, in like a 10-minute info dump. And you're just like sitting there processing. It's like, wait, what? Wait, what? What? Like,
sounds like the architect scene in Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah. So like again, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like if Ufotable just absolutely flex their muscles with the Heaven's Feel trilogy and the Demon Slayer film, but like as far as telling a story, it should have been its own 26 episode series. Like it needed to explore all its backstory and themes more clearly, because otherwise it just felt kind of, you don't really feel a sense of Shiro that much. He's just kind of, he's not even I don't even really think he's the main character, to tell you the truth, even though he technically is. You kind of really don't get a sense of his moral compass or his judgment. He's just protect Sakura because I'm horny for you. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that kind of really goes well again with Zero, because I kind of thought like some of the themes of that were just the question of what does it mean to be a hero. So it's almost kind of like a question and then a response, or three different responses.
Yeah.
In a way. It's interesting. Might have been intentional. I don't know. Genrobuchi's a good writer. Maybe he was like, hey, you gave me the answer. How about I give you the question? Now all I want to do is watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We got the greatest question, or the answer to life, the universe, and everything, but we didn't actually know what the question was. It's 42. I feel like we're just going into deeper and deeper tangents and movie references. And, well, really a book reference. Book reference that was turned into a movie reference, I guess. I don't know. Have we lost anyone yet?
You lost me.
Where'd I lose you? Was it 42?
I mean, I kind of was listening to all of it, and at the same time, I was kind of like, oh my god, I understand nothing.
Yeah.
It's okay, Chibi. That was me whenever you guys were talking about Tokyo Mew Mew a couple years ago. I was like, yeah, I get it. I don't get it.
Magical girls and animals. That's
Honestly,
all there is.
Yeah, like, that's honestly, like, nowhere near as complicated as this one.
Maybe because I didn't really
No.
watch the show, so, like, I was just, like, listening to you guys, like, talk about it, and it's like, okay. Because, like, I just remember you guys hating on Mark, and it's like, poor Mark, what did he do?
Everything.
Yes.
Oh, what a story.
What a story,
I'm
Mark.
confused.
About Mew Mew or
Yeah,
Fate or what?
about Mew Mew.
I think we just didn't like Mark.
Oh.
I'm like, it's been a while since we watched it, so I'm like, I'm kind of trying to remember. I think he was either just really boring or really dumb.
Oh.
So he was both boring and dumb.
Oh.
And
Okay.
also, he
Great
just had
combo.
some really creepy lines that they gave
Also,
him, which I considered not okay to, like, for a teenager to be saying to another teenager. So I
And he
was
did
like,
not sound like a teenager.
no.
He
When we
sounded
were
way
watching-
too old.
Yeah, when we were watching Mew Mew Power, which is the English dub from 4Kids of
Beautiful.
Tokyo Mew Mew, he
Love it.
he sounded like he was 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, so did Goku, but
Yeah.
I personally
the
like
thing.
mine and Chibi's dub over of Tokyo Mew Mew.
you guys did a dub of that.
What?
You guys
No.
did a dub of that.
We were young and
We
kind
were
of stupid.
young. We didn't know what we were doing.
So we
just-
basically just read from the manga when we were younger, and recorded our voices while we were doing it. A
Oh, you did an audio drama. Okay.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's
We
not as bad as
changed.
doing a
We
fan
changed
dub.
it up a bit. We made it Sonic Heroes instead of.
Okay, all right. Wherever this is going, I don't want to hear it now. Thank you. Keep it to yourself.
I mean,
Heroes.
I don't remember the Sonic Heroes part, but I guess
That was
maybe
just
you're the
something
one
I
who-
added in.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember that part, but it was probably something that you added in at some point, and also you have the recording. So
Yeah,
I
Look for
I
that
wouldn't know.
next week on the anime yay or nay. No, we're not gonna do that to people. I don't know who,
Torture.
I don't know who's gonna be more embarrassed, you guys or the people listening. Just generally, who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, God, how old were we at the time when we recorded that? Like, what, 13?
Probably.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to hear it now.
Well, we at least have to hear it.
I'll try to dig it up if I can.
Yes.
God, I mean, you got a new computer. Is it still on, like, your old saves? Like, your drive?
I have a like I have everything saved onto like a storage device. I don't know if that's one of the things on there. It might be, it might not be, but I can look. Also,
can only
Kingdom
hope.
Hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess before we wrap up, does anybody have any questions for me regarding the Fate franchise or the Fate timeline?
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure, go for it.
Actually, you probably have no idea who this character is.
Try him.
Because he's from Fate Grand Order. I was gonna say, why does Ashia Domin fuck?
Man, I can't answer that one.
I mean,
I was about to Google that. Is that just your opinion that he fucks, or is it like a thing?
I think this is my opinion that he fucks.
Okay, let me guess. Is he just hot? What's up?
Yeah, he's just very nice looking.
I mean, Fate Grand Order, it's like its own... Like, even for the Fate franchise, with all its spin-off, it's like its own unique thing, because, like, the servants in those games are either weirdly weird versions of historical figures, or they're historical figures, but they look like characters from the Fate universe. Probably the most famous is Ishtar, which is basically
Rin.
Rin. Yeah,
Yeah.
They basically took Ishtar and, well, made her Rin. That's not even the weirdest thing in Fate Grand Order. They also made Thomas Edison into a lion, and they made made, I forget which historical founding father, but I think they turned one of them into a waifu. So
What?
Based on recent years, I'm going to say Hamilton.
Who knows?
I'm not even surprised.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I can see
concerned.
how you're into this guy. He clearly looks like some sort of clown motif going on.
Oh my god, not again!
Gav, stop trying to fuck clowns. God damn, dude.
Every single goddamn time!
Look, he's got a bit of a Harlequin thing going on. Like the color split thing and like what are those bells on his hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yet again, Gav wants to get it on with the clown.
What is wrong with you?
I just really like jesters, okay?
Sure. You just really like gestures. You like that aesthetic, air quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to say one thing. Not to keep ripping on the dub, but I'll keep ripping on the dub. It's just because like I enjoyed this one. There was an Unlimited Blade Works abridged that actually did a way better job with these characters' voices.
Yeah.
From Project Mouthwash. I think they have 9 episodes now. I think they more or less follow the story pretty well. So if you want to know the story, but like also have like decent jokes and voices with them, check it out. Yeah. I had one last thing before we wrap up. So we all know this is like historical figures and figures of myth and legend from wherever being summoned for stuff. I got a question for everybody. Who would be the servant you would try to summon? And as best you can, don't use someone who's already been used.
Well, that's a problem. They probably don't know.
I know you
can
want
use
Baber.
everyone.
You want Baber, I know. But it's like, is there anything from like a historical figure or like something from a myth or a legend or something that you'd be like, oh, I want to use them?
Yes, but he's not a hero.
Okay, who is he?
Maximilian Robespierre.
Maximilian Robespierre. Please describe and tell us why you would use him.
Because he's awful. Because he, is involved in the French Revolution. He was the one who, he was, one of the most influential figures in the French Revolution. The incorruptible Maximilian Robespierre. He was the one who guillotined everyone.
I mean, you don't have to be a hero to be a servant.
That's true. There was Bluebeard.
Well, Jack the Ripper's in Fate Apocrypha, so
that's true as well.
Ooh.
True.
Yep. So I don't know. I just when I was younger and I learned about the French Revolution, I just thought it like I had some wacky like ideas about Robespierre. Don't ask me about them.
Does he fuck?
No. No, I just like had some like weird like alien type ideas.
Alien.
Yeah. And I just thought he was very interesting. Like when we'd watch all the like things like depicting him in like the French Revolution like reenactments and stuff. And I was just kind of like interesting how he was just like, let's guillotine everyone. And then he got guillotined himself.
Was he the guy who invented the guillotine? Because I know the guy who
No.
invented the guillotine also got guillotined.
I don't think he invented it. I think he was just like the one who started the whole reign of terror.
No,
Just a
because
big
like
fan.
they had guillotines probably before the French Revolution, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that. I thought it was like it. I know it
Wasn't
became
it
like.
named after the guy who made it?
I think.
I think so.
Joseph
But his name's
Ignace
not
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
Guillotine. Guy. His name's probably Guy. I don't know.
Guillotine. Apparatus designers. I mean, it came to prominence in the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Came to prominence, but that doesn't mean it wasn't made before that.
It. Yeah, it was invented by French physician Joseph Ignace Guillotine.
When?
In. Let's see. He proposed that in 1789.
Little history lesson for everyone, so you're gonna learn something today.
So
1789. Yeah, that would have been like right up near the French Revolution.
I think it probably was at least a little
Oh.
bit before.
he didn't invent it, it was named after him.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
Houdini. Stop it.
Chibs,
God.
who would you summon?
No idea.
Houdini.
Aw. I was about to be like, yeah, if you just picked Houdini.
I
a
mean,
caster.
I
Henry
would love
Houdini.
to have my cat.
Honestly, though, you know what? If you could use Houdini, Harry Houdini, the guy was an escape artist. He was like super stealthy, could get around places. Could use him as assassin.
That's true.
That's interesting.
That's true.
Do
I
you
remember we
I was
talked
gonna
about
say,
we
don't
talked
put
about
him
this
as a caster.
extensively.
Don't put him as a caster. And I say that because he had a big anti-mystics campaign
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That had like to do with like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's wife or something.
So she was said to be a psychic.
Yeah.
And she tried getting in contact with Houdini's mother, but it all was in English. And the thing is she couldn't speak English, his mother.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a drunk history about this.
Yeah. Like, I remember, I think I was watching BuzzFeed Unsolved, and they were talking about, like, the mysterious death of Harry Houdini. And I believe, like, they covered this as, like, part of his background, because I guess there were a lot of mystics and psychics who were, like, not exactly big fans of him.
Yeah, seances were huge back then.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was real big on, you know, like, debunking, denouncing, and, you know, just basically, like, calling them out as frauds. Because, let's face it, a lot of them were frauds, who were just using the trend of the time in, like, seances and, like, spirit boards, in order to, you know, weasel money out of people. So.
We're learning so much this podcast.
Well,
I'm
this is what
I'm
happens.
actually proud of us.
This is what happens when you're talking about an anime that is literally just like has a bunch of historical figures in it that aren't actually the historical figures.
Yeah, I'm thinking Houdini as assassin. I think that works.
I mean, to be fair, there was, at least in the Fate shows that I've seen, there were, once you figure out who their identities are, because that's another big thing, is like, it's kind of taboo for the servants to actually tell who they truly are, like who they were reincarnated as. So like when they find out who they are, it's kind of like a big deal. And there were some servants in the shows that I watched that I never even heard of from like historical legend or actual legend. So I was like, I'm gonna do some
They got some
research.
deep dives. I do like they had Shakespeare as one. He was fun in
Who was he?
Apocrypha. He was a caster.
Okay.
He would like write stuff and it would become real.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like you can get some really interesting noble phantasms out of these people.
Okay.
Yin. Who would you pick?
Like, I remember we came up with so many.
I think we almost like came up with a whole
But
Holy
the one
Grail
that,
war.
yes, but the one that stuck in my head that I still remember we talked about was Rasputin as a caster.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one
He
of
would
your
be
picks.
interesting.
I think what was the thing we were going with? Like he could like you could try to kill his body, but he couldn't die.
Yeah.
But like his like I don't know. I think we were like
Because
mixing.
people tried to kill him so many times and he would
Yeah.
always like come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I think
That
the
is
thing was we
very
were
true.
like we were kind of going off of his whole mystic element and like he could hypnotize people and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we were mixing some mythologies here, but I think his heart was like in a box somewhere else. So as long as his heart was okay, his body could regenerate,
Yeah.
which made him tough to kill, which was interesting. I think we had a lot of interesting ideas for that.
I don't remember all of them, but I remember we did talk about it.
I might
but
still
that's
have the
the one
Google
I
Doc.
remembered, yeah.
I know we had a Google Doc.
Yeah, we did. It was a whole thing.
It was the whole thing. We were coming up with a whole. How does this gonna happen?
It was going to be an entire series, basically.
Yeah.
Like, we could have sold it. So.
We could have wrote a fan fiction.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. Maybe we'll
Could've
write
wrote
a fan
decent
fiction.
fan fiction.
We've been looking for a prompt lately.
There we go.
Yeah. Envy. You got one?
This is kind of cheating since he was. I just found out he was technically in Fate Grand Order, but I don't give a shit.
Fate Grand Order. I don't think we can count Fate Grand Order because I feel like that's where they're gonna like explode the roster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would summon Leonidas as a berserker.
I could see that.
Because I picture him either as a saber or as a berserker. I couldn't really picture him as a rider or anything else.
Can I throw out the Spartans? Their whole thing was the shield wall, and they used spears. You could argue a lancer.
That is true. I guess I'm thinking more of 300 Leonidas rather than actual mythical, historical Leonidas.
Maybe.
Okay, what the
You're
hell
looking
would
for them
Robes-
abs.
What the hell would Robespierre be?
Robespierre, I was just wondering that, and I cannot think. Like, you know,
It's-
he
He was
I don't know.
a French lawyer and statesman and advocate for the people, but he was also like kind of almost led them into dictatorship. So like
I'm gonna be real. I really don't know that he's ever gonna get summoned as a hero.
no.
Like, Houdini might be stretching it too, but he's
I
like
mean,
at least explained the
Rasputin is stretching
Well,
it a lot.
Yeah, but again, Bluebeard, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well-
think when you have
But
like
I mean, then
Well-
why
well-
couldn't Robespierre?
I mean,
Because
William
what did
Shakespeare
he
was
do that was
summoned, so
but he had like, you know, I think it's like elements of like, because like it's not just historical figures. There's also figures of myth and legend. So it's kind of like, do people know you? Do people remember you? What are you
People
remembered
remember
for?
Robespierre.
I get that, but like, are you remembered for big epic things, or are you remembered for I signed the paperwork to get people's heads chopped off?
He
since
he
he
dismantled the monarchy.
since he was kind of like a
Did he take it down
manipulator,
with a sword? Or
He
or
took
what?
down the fucking monarchy.
I mean, since he's more manipulative and sneaky, I guess I would say caster is probably the best thing for him because again, casters tend to work from the shadows or work
Okay.
from like summoning things or shit like that. So,
I could see that kind of a manipulative, kind of like the thing we were talking with Rasputin a little bit.
but instead of Rasputin, like mind tricking people and like reviving himself, he'll like uses like he'll almost be like a Guy Fawkes type of character where he convinces the people to, rise up and rebel. Except, unlike Guy Fawkes, he actually succeeded.
Guy Fawkes would be an interesting one too.
You said Guy Fawkes, and my heart automatically went, summon Guy Fieri.
He's not dead yet. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know.
No,
Fifth dimensional objects and whatnot.
No, he's just busy in Flavortown.
Yeah. I think I'm left. You're right. There were a lot of really good ones I think that we came up with and even came up with powers for them. But the one that I come back to, I want Don Quixote.
Yes.
As a rider. I think Don Quixote de la Mancha would be my pick.
Who's that?
He's a book character.
Yes, he was in, what was it, the first novel, like full novel that was ever written in the West.
God, what was it called?
The Ingenious Gentleman.
I thought it was the Man of La Mancha. No, Man of La Mancha was the Terry Gilliam documentary thing.
Wait, the first what
It was also
novel?
a play, right?
It was like the first fully published novel.
Yeah. In the West,
It was
Tales of a Geisha
long.
might have been before, but in Europe, it was the first, at least.
I was gonna say, wasn't
fully
like Journey to
published
the
novel.
West or something like that in China? Wasn't that like one of the first stories?
No,
It
I
was-
think I forget. No, I don't think it was, but yeah, I mean, we do have to look this up. But at the very least, in Europe, it was the first like novel that was ever like widely distributed.
Yeah.
And it's about an old dude named Don Quixote. He's not actually even a Don or anything. He's just like, he's this delusional old man who puts on like a saucepan on his head and gets this old ass horse, jumps up on top of him, and he like tries to like fight windmills because he thinks they're giants and all sorts of stuff. And it's just like this delusional old man living in a fantasy world. But
And he
like,
wants to be a knight.
he wants to be a knight. He wants to bring back the age of chivalry. And everyone else around him is like, "You're a fool, Don Quixote. What's wrong with you?" And eventually they kind of break him and like bring him back to reality, and then he dies, and they're like, maybe we should have let him live in a fantasy world, because what good did bringing reality to him do him?
Yeah.
So I think it'd be cool.
So it is often labeled as the first modern novel.
Okay.
And it is considered one of the greatest works ever written. That is me quoting Wikipedia.
But yeah, I would do Don Quixote, and not dissimilar a little bit to Shakespeare. I kind of want his delusions to be his noble phantasm. Like yeah, he puts a saucepan on his head. It becomes a helmet of armor that he can defend with, or he picks up a fork. It becomes a trident by which he can fight enemies and stuff. And like, maybe his biggest power is like he can actually trap you in his own imagination, full of dragons and knights and all sorts of stuff.
Genjutsu?
We've been watching too much Naruto. Oh jeez.
I guess
What
we should have
about-
explained what. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna name another historical figure.
I'm gonna
was-
look for this Google Doc. We had too many good ideas.
I was gonna say, what about Buddha?
He could
Buddha.
be a good one.
Hold up. I don't think you're actually allowed to summon a god. I
He's
think
not a
that
god.
actually is. Well, it's
He's not a
like you're
god.
allowed demigods and stuff, because I know Hercules is a member, but
But Buddha's not a god.
I guess if anybody worships...
okay, I will throw this out there.
I mean, like
Buddha fight?
Gautama Buddha. Like, the one who, like... I mean, he's known as the Buddha, but he is, like... And he founded, like, Buddhism, but... He's...
Yes. But would he fight?
Yeah.
he
Aren't
fight?
Buddhist pacifists? How are you going to win the Holy Grail War if you are not willing to fight anyone?
I mean...
Hide until they all kill
We
each
still
other.
have it. I feel like you shot yourself in the foot just a little bit.
I don't
get
know.
where you're coming from. I do, but I don't know that that's going to work.
I don't know.
Hang on, I did find it. Let's look what we had. I think we had Constantine the Great, the first Christian emperor of Rome, and uniter of the Eastern and Western Empire. Because I think there was, like, some sort of myth or rumor that he had, like, the spear of destiny or something, like the spear that stabbed the side of Christ. And, like, that's how he came to power.
Who
so,
was
like,
this?
you could... Constantine the Great from 306 AD.
Okay.
Like, could be interesting as a lancer if you have, like, the I think it was called the Lance of Longinus. And that's what we were going with. I had Odysseus.
Oh, that would be
That would be a
interesting.
really
Yeah.
powerful one. I mean, his name is synonymous with epics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh. What if I'm sorry. I just keep thinking of dumb ideas.
like, come on. Mine's kind of one of the dumber ones. Don Quixote. Who picks Don Quixote?
What about Puss in Boots?
Oh my god.
I mean, it's a legend.
It's an interesting thought of, like, you know, how, like, big is the myth and the legend and stuff. Maybe? I don't know.
Do you think they would make Puss in Boots a cat girl in Fate?
No.
110%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
They
wait,
already
whoa.
made... What was her name?
Well,
What was her name in Apocrypha? They made, like, her name was, like, Atlanta or Atlanta or something. She was a cat
Atlantia.
girl.
Yeah.
Atalanta?
Atlanti-
Yeah, Atlanta. She wasn't a cat
I-
girl.
Puss in
She-
Boots is right there. I mean,
Yeah.
I am all for Puss in Boots cat girl.
Well, that just gave me a good idea. Puss in Boots is voiced by Antonio Banderas. What other famous character did he voice or play? Zorro.
I don't know that Zorro has as much longevity. Well, then again, Puss in Boots might not. I don't know. But, like,
I could totally picture
It's-
Zorro as a saber or an assassin.
I think Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots.
This was
Saber.
an interesting one. And it was kind of more of, like, building off of a separate legend that this person was connected to. There was a guy in 1879 named Swift Runner. He was a Cree tracker up in, like, Canada who claimed to have been possessed by a Wendigo spirit and cannibalized his
Ooh.
family. And we were kind of like, well, what if he's a berserker and, like, he can't control the Wendigo spirit?
That'd be
Yeah.
And,
awesome.
like, yeah, that's kind of spooky.
How long was this doc?
Long. We had Hattori Hanzo, which is like the samurai ninja guy from. He's legendary.
Was
Maybe
he
it's like
never used?
I think no, I don't think so.
Oh.
Because I think we checked all of these.
I think
Now I don't know if
so.
Grand Order expanded their
Maybe
roster
it
so much to
expanded
include
it.
him, but yeah, we had him as like assassin or something like that. Do we have? I know we had like some other ones as well.
I feel like we spent more time talking about.
We did,
like,
but this is just kind of like fun. Charlemagne.
servants.
We put down Charlemagne. The person that basically every royal family member is related to at this point.
I think those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones. I think I had like a small list of other people. Nicholas Flamel.
Oh, yes. The Alchemist.
Definitely be a caster.
Melencomus of Caria? I don't even know who that... I'm really like... Some of these were like... We were doing deep research. Galvarino. Yao Fei. That's the pirate queen, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. William Marshall. Flama. Miyamoto Musashi. Cleopatra.
I think they've done Cleopatra at this point.
Probably. Autolycus. How do I pronounce that? Ningmu?
Yeah, Cleopatra's in Fate Grand Order.
I think Ningmu
Yeah.
invented Wing Chun, the martial art. Beowulf. Yeah, he's probably been used.
Yeah.
Probably by now, yeah.
Cain.
Wait.
Like Cain and Abel.
Oof.
Prospero. Speaking of William Shakespeare. Merlin. Oh, I actually put down Wilhelm Wagner. The like Ride of the Valkyries guy. Like, what if he could like start a performance and like summon Valkyries or something? That could be interesting.
What about like Dante? Did Dante's Inferno?
Dante
we did not
Alighieri?
put down Dante.
Yeah.
That could be it. Summon the powers of hell.
Summon the powers of hell.
Speaking of people with
maybe,
a lot of stuff.
But he's working his way from hell to heaven. So
yeah. So he's protected
depending.
from the Genghis Khan.
He's already
Yeah.
used.
Yeah,
I
he seems like he would
figured.
be.
Well, although
Sinbad?
technically he was in Fate Go, so yeah, you can.
Sinbad the Sailor?
Look.
There was also Scathch, which I think was the person who actually trained
She was-
Lancer.
She was in it, I think.
Okay. What about Mulan? They didn't use Mulan.
I don't think they've used her.
I don't see.
I think those were all the ones we came up with.
Do you know that they have Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Yep, he's a berserker. She's a berserker.
She's like a, yeah.
She's a berserker.
Oh yeah,
we call
she's
lightning.
in. Oh yeah,
Apocrypha,
isn't she
yeah.
in Apocrypha? Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I'm still standing Don Quixote. I just think it's gonna be really fun. Here's the thing. I know he will not win because like I think thematically he can't win, but he's gonna be kind of like Ryder in Fate Zero. He's gonna be super charismatic. You're gonna love him, and even if he loses, he's gonna go down in style. So that's me. I'm not looking to win. I'm looking for
having a
style
good
points.
time.
I'm here to have a good time, and I am gonna be. What was his name? What the fuck was his name?
What, Ryder?
No, what was Don Quixote's sidekick?
Sancho
Panza. I'll be his Sancho Panza all day. No, if I was going for a win, I'd pick Odysseus.
Yeah.
I think he's got so much name recognition that he's gonna have so much power.
I'm like, I really like Puss in Boots, Cat
I mean, I'm assuming Heracles has already been done, right?
Yeah, he's actually in this series.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in,
you
he's
would
in
get-
Fate Stay Night and all that.
Yeah, you would get introduced to him in the next episode. He's Ilya's servant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a berserker in more ways than one.
I mean, I kind of figured he would be.
Yeah.
And obviously in the Japanese, I can't remember if they actually use his American name or his traditional Greek name. I can't remember.
No. Okay, so let me clear that up for you. Heracles is the
Greek.
Greek. Hercules is Roman. Let me say that now.
I know I played it with somebody. Did we ever play the Hercules drinking game with you guys?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a number of them that some of them just have to do with Disney movies, like drink every time you hear Jim Cummings. But
Yes.
One of the big things is whenever you see like an inaccuracy in the myth, you got to drink. So pretty much every time they call him Hercules,
so many.
you have to drink because it's not Hercules, it's Heracles.
Wow.
Yeah, people make that mistake often. Like, I know this is really off topic, but like I know in God of War, the video game series, in the third game you fight. Well, they call him Hercules, but it's based in Greek mythology. But they still call him Hercules. So.
I think it might just be the fact of they're calling him that mostly because Americanization. Also, quick question, for the God of War, do they refer to the God of War as Mars, or do they refer to him as Ares?
Ares,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I'm like, if they were going for the Romans, they would actually be accurate, but they're not, so.
For the first, the first 5 or 6 games in the series, it's based on Greek mythology. Granted, their own twist in it, but yeah, it's based on Greek mythology, the Olympic pantheon, and all that stuff.
I think we really got off topic near the end.
Yeah, I
from
think
this
this
show,
is the longest one that we've done of our
where we were
favorites
this far
so
off
far.
topic.
We are an hour and a half, and then some.
Yep. So, if you manage to make it to the end of this, why not go a little bit further? Why not go now and if you haven't already, watch what we thought about the first episode of Magia Record. It's a good time. What else are you going to do on a Sunday? Nothing to do. Hang out. Hang out with us. Yeah, it's a good time. And let's also talk about what we're watching next week. Other than the second episode of Magia Record, whenever that comes out, we're going to be moving on to... this is our last number 3, isn't it?
I think so.
Whose was this? Was this Gav's?
What?
My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah, that was my number 3. Yeah.
I caught up.
You are?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
in season 5,
I got a couple more episodes to go, but I'm pretty much caught up.
in season
not.
5. You're on season 5, right?
I have not gotten to season 5 yet, but
Okay, but you're on season
I'm going to be
4.
cramming.
Okay, don't worry. Season 5 really isn't that major yet. There's a lot of filler, so you're good for right
I
now.
won't worry about it then. I will finish at the very least, I'm going to finish season 4 for whenever we record My Hero Academia. Now, since I did that, be aware that at some point down the line, because my number 2 is Naruto, we will be talking about Naruto, so you're going to have to watch at least the first 135 episodes of that.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah, we've obviously watched 13 episodes for the Shonen Showdown, so you only have 122 episodes to watch.
Yeah, I don't got the time
Easy.
for that.
No, easy. Hey, come on. I did it.
I'm not even caught up with My Hero Academia.
Oh, God, this is going to be a short conversation, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, find out next
well,
week.
these 3 then.
Yeah, no, I guess you're caught up pretty
I'm
much
caught
with
up.
me. Yeah. All right, so come back next week for My Hero Academia, more Magia Record, and anything else we feel like talking about at the time, because why not go off on tangents that are fun? Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!